Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Thanks for coming by the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel from the heart of the Deep South on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama, where we talk about music, records, do record reviews, interviews, and much more. Today's a Christmas edition. Merry Christmas to all of you. No record review today, but what this is going to be is kind of a recap of the year and a heartfelt thank you to everybody who's participated with this channel. So first of all, thank you and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody that's come and visited the channel. For all of you that have supported the channel, for all of you that have subscribed, gave the thumbs up, left your comments. We've got to hear a lot about your passion for music, your love for music. You guys have introduced me to a lot of new titles as well. So I appreciate you guys coming on the channel, supporting the channel. We've just gone over 2,000 subscribers, and that's because of you guys. I thank you for also being open to a lot of these new records that a lot of people haven't heard of. And I'm really passionate about supporting working artists on this channel. So thank you for coming on and giving these new records, especially these new jazz releases. Thank you for giving them a chance and listening to them and sharing them with other people. And I'm really happy when I see someone come on and say, oh man, that's a really great record. Thanks for sharing that. I'm going to buy it. Really makes me happy just because I love sharing music with you guys, new music. So thank you to all of you. Now, I'm going to thank each and every one who came on the channel and took the time to have a conversation with me. This year was a fantastic year for me. I learned so much from all of you that came on the channel, took the time to come on and have a conversation, tell me a little bit about yourself. You shared your passion with me, your passion for music with me, the making of these wonderful records that I'm getting ready to show you guys. I'm going to go through these records really quickly, and I'm going to give a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you who came on the channel and spoke with me. So what I'm going to do is, and before I get started here, I just want to make you guys aware that there are two playlists listed below. One is Jazz Vinyl Reviews. It's a playlist. It's over 160 reviews now that I've done on the channel that have been jazz records. So go check those out. You can catch up on all these over the holidays. And then the second playlist are all these conversations that I have with all these wonderful musicians. So if you guys missed these, go back and check them out. There's just a wealth of information. It's just really a privilege to talk with all of you. So what I want to do is go through in the order that you guys came on the channel. Thank you. I'm going to show you the record. If you guys missed these records, you're definitely going to want to check them out because these are all fantastic albums. So first, my very, very first guest, Claudio Quatarone, the virtuoso of guitar from Italy. Thank you so much for being my first guest to come on the channel. Telling me about yourself, your passion for playing guitar, how you started off in classical music and then moved into jazz, the making of this wonderful record with Umberto Fiorentino. Thank you to Lorenzo Vella, the owner of Bird Box Records, for turning me on to this wonderful music. So thank you, Claudio, for being my first guest. And if you guys, again, haven't heard this album, you need to go check it out. Next, we have the elegant singer, pianist, and producer, Champian Fulton, my second guest. Thank you so much, Champion, for coming on. You're a pleasure to talk to. I really loved your passion, your determination, your story of wanting to be a jazz pianist and singer. Very inspiring. I look forward to all of your new projects in the coming year. So thank you, Champion, for coming on the channel and being my second guest. Next, we have the saxophonist, the determined musician and label owner of Cellar Music Group, Cory Weeds. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the channel. Came on the channel twice this year. I hope to have you more next year talking about all the new releases that you're putting out on this fantastic jazz label. And it was just a pleasure talking to you, learning about the making of this album here, and just enjoyed our conversation and hope to have more. So thank you so much for coming on the channel. Look forward to doing it more. Next, I have kind of names for everybody here that I come up with. We have the emerging, talented saxophonist, composer, Emma Rawicz. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. I love to see youthful people come on the channel who are so excited about making new music. composing new music, keeping jazz alive, steering it in new directions. This is a fantastic album. If you guys haven't heard this Chroma record, you got to go check it out. Thank you, Emma, for coming on the channel, spending some time with me. And I look forward to your releases coming up next year, and I hope we can talk again. Next, we have the master pianist, storyteller, legend of piano, Vladimir Shafranov. Thank you, my friend, for coming on. Wonderful conversations. He's come on a couple of times on the channel. We've chatted for hours. It's like chatting with an old friend. All the wonderful stories that he has to tell, all of his experiences traveling the world, and continues to do so, making wonderful records like this one called Blues for Percy. If you guys haven't heard this, go check it out. Again, you can find all the reviews of each and every one of these records in that playlist. So thank you, Vladimir. Looking forward to more conversations with you. Next, we have the creative composer, master of the keyboard, David Hellbach. Thank you for coming on the channel and telling us about the making of this fantastic fusion record, letting us know about your passion for music and how you became a jazz musician and composer. Thank you so much for taking the time for coming on this channel. And again, fantastic fusion record here. Looking forward to more from you. Next, the drumming legend, Simon Phillips. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, taking the time out to come on and talk about all of your experience in the studio as an engineer, all the wealth of knowledge that you shared with me, and everybody has a chance now to learn from you, and how you can make a digital recording sound so analog. Thank you for coming out and sharing that and all of your experiences. It was a pleasure talking with you, and I look forward to the Darwin releases coming out, and hopefully the other Protocol records you'll be having coming out on vinyl as well. So I hope we see those this year, and I hope to have you on again. Thank you so much, Simon, for coming on the channel. All right. I couldn't believe how many people I've had on this year. It's just been fantastic. Next, we have the multi-talented composer, Miguel Atwood-Ferguson, with this unbelievable 4 LP release, part 1 of 3. This is unbelievable. What an achievement here. Thank you, Miguel, for coming on. And you were just a pleasure to speak with. Your wealth of information, your passion, your love for music, your generosity for coming on the channel and talking. I look forward to the next 2 parts that are coming out, but this is absolutely fantastic body of work. You guys need to check this out. Wonderful. Thank you, Miguel, for coming on the channel. Next, we have the unique genius of piano and composer, Mamiko Watanabe. Thank you for coming on the channel. I really enjoyed speaking with you and hearing about the making of this record. You are a unique voice on the piano, and I look forward to more releases coming from you off the JoJo label. Thanks for coming on the channel. Hopefully we can talk again. All right, next we have the vibrant singer and trumpet player, Bria Skonberg, on the Cellar Music Group label. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. You were such a pleasure to talk with. I loved your spirit, your joyful spirit, your love for music and performing, and the making of this record, telling us all about it. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. I look forward to more music from you, and I really appreciate you again taking the time to come on the channel and talk with me. We have now the cutting-edge guitarist from London, David Preston. Thank you for coming on, telling us all about your passion for playing guitar. It was a wonderful conversation, and you got to share a lot with me. And I think everybody will find it intriguing on how you made this album. This is a fantastic record with a lot of cool textures on it. If you guys haven't not heard this record, you got to go check it out. Thank you, David Preston, for coming on this channel and speaking with me. Next, we have the master of tradition and another wonderful guitar player, master of the standards, Yotam Silberstein. Thank you, Yotam, for coming on the channel, taking the time to talk about your career as a jazz musician, sharing some tips and insights into playing jazz guitar, a wealth of knowledge, but also this telling us about how you made this fantastic record and how I think coming up in the new year, we're going to see part 2 of this. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us on the channel. All right, next we have the guitar and oud master on the JoJo label, Amos Hoffman. Wonderful conversation with you. Thank you, Amos, for coming on the channel, telling us all about the oud and how that fits into your idea of jazz or your idea of music, you know, how this seamless transition that you have between guitar and the oud and the making of this wonderful record on the JoJo label. Thank you so much, Amos, for coming on the channel. I look forward to much more coming from you. Next, we have the rising wizard of piano, Charles Chen on the Cellar Music Group. Wonderful conversation with you, Charles. Thank you so much for coming on. You're a wealth of information. Loved hearing about all the different pianists and their styles and your knowledge of all this jazz history and your passion for playing piano and this fantastic debut record, which is wonderful. If you guys missed this, got to check it out. Thanks, Charles, for coming on the channel. Looking forward to more stuff coming from you as well. All right, we have the passionate label owner and guitar player, Simon Belelty, owner of JoJo Records. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on. Tell us about your passion for jazz music and your journey in establishing your record company and talking about your passion for jazz and your passion for playing guitar and how this all led you to establish this record company, which is absolutely fantastic. If you guys, again, missed the reviews that I've done of all these wonderful records on the JoJo label, you need to go check them out. Thank you, Simon, for taking the time to come on and share your career and your inspiration with us. Next, we have, trying to keep these records from falling here, sliding around. We have the graceful crooner and engaging entertainer, the baritone vocal master, John Dokes. Thank you for coming on the channel, telling us about how you became a jazz singer, telling us about the making of this album. It was a very inspirational conversation, but also a lot of insight into how you became a jazz singer and how other people might also do that. So thank you so much, John, for coming on. It was a pleasure to chat with you. Next, getting close to the end. And again, I'm just astounded by how many of you came on the channel. We have the scholar of saxophone from Italy, Cristiano Giardini. Thank you so much for coming on and having that lengthy conversation with me and bearing with me going through all these records. It was just wonderful to hear your insight on all these saxophone players, your knowledge of jazz and your passion for playing and composing. It was a lot of fun talking with you, and I look forward to chatting with you again. If you guys haven't heard this awesome record on the Bird Box label, you're going to want to check it out. Fantastic. Thank you, Cristiano, for coming on the channel. Now we have the guru of jazz organ, Brian Charette. Thank you for coming on, hanging out with me on the channel, talking jazz, telling us about how you got started in jazz, how you became a jazz organ player, all of you had a lot of cool stories and experiences that you shared with me, and also the making of this fantastic record on the Cellar Music Group label, playing with Cory on here, Dave Sekula on guitar, John Lee on the drums. Fantastic smoking record. You guys need to check this out. Brand new, just came out. Thank you, Brian, for coming on the channel. Look forward to many more records from you, and hopefully we'll have you on again. Finally, last but not least, my final guest for this year, 2024, the connoisseur of drumming tradition, this wonderful album that he put out, Jacob Wendt. If you love the Blue Note stuff, you're going to love this record. Fantastic playing on it. Jacob, a wealth of knowledge of drumming, jazz drumming. We had a wonderful conversation, very lengthy. I had to break it up into multiple parts because we just had a great time talking about jazz, his experience as a jazz drummer, running jam sessions, you name it, we talked about it. So thank you, Jacob, for taking the time to come on this channel. Wonderful record. If you guys, like the Blue Note straight ahead type jazz, this is fantastic, and all of his own compositions. Wonderful record. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. So that was everybody that came on the channel this year that had a conversation with me. Again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you. I look forward to another great year in 2025, a lot more jazz reviews and hopefully a lot more conversations with you. I know that you've been an inspiration, not just for me, but everybody who's watching these videos, I think are inspired or they're rewarded by your wealth of knowledge on music, your virtuosity on the instrument that you play, and sharing your stories. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy listening to everybody, and I look forward to a wonderful 2025.